Hi, I'm Mary Beth Stapleton, Manager of Family and Community Partnerships for Harford County Public Schools. Thank you for joining me today for the Parent Academy Real Talk on kindergarten readiness, a principal's perspective. With me today is Dr. Stacey Gerringer, our esteemed principal of Abingdon Elementary School. Hi, Dr. Gerringer.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you.
I know this is a very busy time of year for you, trying to get your school open, so thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. We have lots of parents who are anxious and eager to get their little ones off to kindergarten, and so we really want to highlight for those parents, what do they need to do to get their children ready, and what can they do to have a successful start to their school career. So to get us started, I just want to have our parents hear a little bit about you and your background and how long you've been with Harford County Public Schools.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to date myself a little bit. I've actually served in the county since 1994, started out as a classroom teacher, which evolved into a teacher specialist and then a mentor. I served as assistant principal, and this is actually my 15th year as principal of Abingdon Elementary School. It's been a great ride. I've been able to work in 18 different of our elementary schools in Harford County, and it's all been a joy. I've learned a great deal, and I'm very happy to serve our community.
Wow. So if anyone knows what a little one needs to have as far as school readiness, you know.
Absolutely.
Lots of experience in this, so that's great. So to get us started, I know you had an amazing event in the spring for families, and I wanted to highlight that for our community just so they know the kinds of things our principals are doing to get their families that are coming in ready for school. So if you could just share with our families, what did you do for those kindergarten families to get them onboarded?
Well, the first thing we did is we stole the idea from Youth Benefit.
Oh, cool.
Mr. Smith always hosted an incoming K event, and when he was explaining it, we were very excited because we know that registering your child for kindergarten is very stressful. That idea of someone else taking care of your most precious gift, it scares parents. So we had an incoming event, and it was 2 weeks before Harford County's Friday roundup for kindergarten registration. And we, of course, welcomed our families with music because we welcome our kids every morning with live music. They were able to come into our whole group setting. We were able to share with them our vision. We were also able to share with them how we keep their babies safe, which is very important. We explained our badge system, our proc system, our cameras, how they need their ID because they're not getting that baby unless they have that photo ID, and really help them understand that we will keep your child safe because that's a huge angst for our parents. We also talked about how our doors stayed locked and really made sure that they felt comfortable, as we call it, the Abingdon nest. Within that, we also explain registration because registration is a huge hurdle for our parents. And it's not just because of the process itself, but it's because of the documents that they need and the restrictions on those documents. So our ladies up front, our admin assistants, were able to really explain these are the items that you need. And by conducting the event 2 weeks in advance before kindergarten roundup, it gave our parents time to actually look around and find that original birth certificate and find that proof of residence and all the items that they needed. Once we explained what they needed, then our kindergarten team got to help our parents understand a hot list of things that they can do with those babies before kindergarten starts to get them ready, because as moms, we really want to make sure we're doing something. So we wanted to give them that list of items to help them move forward and make them feel like their child was going to have an easier transition into kindergarten. And finally, we let them walk through the nest. They got to tour all the classrooms, which was so exciting to see. We had over 100 people attend, which was fantastic, and just watching the kids so excited I want to see that one next, I want to see this one next, and they walked into all 6 of our kindergarten classrooms, and the parents were smiling, and it was one of those events, especially after COVID lockdown, to feel that connection with our community again. And when they walked out, you could tell how excited they were. They looked a little bit more relaxed, and they were smiling. And that was one piece I think we noticed as a staff, because as a staff, not only was kindergarten there, but our guidance counselors were there, our admin assistants were there, some of our unified arts teachers were there, just to really help our parents meet the staff. But just to watch them smile, oh my gosh, the smiles were fantastic. So we knew that it was a positive event, and we also noticed that They were very eager to enroll. We actually had the highest enrollment in the earliest of the year this year, and we do believe that it was to our incoming kindergarten event.
Wow, that's success. That's
Yes,
great.
yes.
So thinking about what you shared as far as information around school readiness, and as you said, getting those babies ready for school throughout the summer, I want to highlight for parents just so key points from a principal's viewpoint. What are some things that you're going to be looking for as they come in? And of course, it's, everybody's starting at the same level, and there's no competition here, but just really making sure that our kids are off and to a great start. So some thoughts around, first of all, I know literacy is a big piece of that. You're a mom, I'm a mom. Reading all the time to our children is just essential. So thinking about literacy and some things that parents can do this summer to get their little ones ready for that literacy piece.
It was really interesting because when our kindergarten team shared that hot list, they really had 3 basic categories. They had personal self-care, if you will. They also had the academic piece with that literacy was included. And then they had more of the social aspect. So thinking about basic pieces of just the personal self-care, it's hard as a mommy sometimes because you're kind of in a rush and you put those shoes on for them and you zip that coat. But when there's 20 of them in a room and there's only one teacher, we really encouraged our parents to build independence. Take that time. I know sometimes we got to get places, but let them put their jacket on by themselves. Let them practice to zip. Let them practice buttoning their pants, putting their shoes on the right feet. Sometimes we don't always get it right, but we make sure we fix it when they get in there. And really learning how to tie those shoes. Also lunch. Lunch is huge. This year so far at Abingdon, we have 115 kindergartners at this moment, and I'm sure we're going to welcome more babies. So if you can imagine a sea of the cafeteria with all these pea pods trying to open their Go-Gurt or put their straw in their juice box. So really helping them at lunch to practice that. And we said, if it's something your child can't open, don't give it to them in their lunch, because while we have staff in there helping, we don't always catch everybody. And some of our babies are a little afraid to raise their hand and ask for help. So please, whatever you give them for lunch, make sure it's easy for them to open and accessible. And we, of course, do encourage them to eat. Because some of them are, they may not be hungry the first day because they might have a little bit of nerves, but really practicing with them to open what's in their lunch. And even practicing having a lunch in a lunchbox and getting them to take it out is really important. So we did focus on that personal self-care. Academically, we looked at aspects that we could help parents to encourage them to keep reading to their children. Let them hold the book. Let them turn the pages. Also, let them count to 10, whether you're walking down the sidewalk, up the steps, whether you're going through the grocery store. Count when you're in the car, because gosh knows we're in the car a lot as moms. Looking at the fact of getting them to sing songs, look at letters. And it's not really the aspect of having them know all of their letters and sounds. The one piece, if we got them to pick, the one aspect that we would love for them to be able to recognize is their name. Know their name, and definitely, and I know as parents we worry about stranger danger, but if you're in school and a person has a badge on with the school, if they ask you your name, let us know your name, because we're trying to learn all the new faces. Now, within that piece, academically, counting, reading, letters, and really getting them to follow two-step directions. That's really hard to help them understand. I want you to put your shoes away and then put your pillow on your bed. Same thing in school. We want you to unpack your backpack, then hang it on your hook. So getting them to understand two-step directions. The last category is more social, emotional, and it's hard for our little beings because they are the center of their family's world. And all of a sudden they go into a kindergarten with 19 other darlings that have been the center of their family's world. So getting them to understand patience. Just wait a minute, and actually make it a minute. Let them wait a minute. Give them a little bit of patience practice. Give them a little bit of tolerance. Working together. Being able to really sit with a friend and play a game. Play games with them. So really, I think what we're asking for our K-babies to be ready for kindergarten is just parents to keep doing what they're naturally doing and practice those key pieces like with lunch and the zipping, recognizing that name, reading those books, keep reading those books together, and really thinking about taking turns and using their manner words, I think will definitely help that transition.
Wonderful. And then as the school year begins and parents are curious how things are going, what do you talk with your kindergarten, as a leader and an expectation for your kindergarten teachers and communicating with parents? What are some of the things that they can expect to hear from their teachers about progress?
Well, when we start off our school at Abingdon, we have an open house. So parents are able to come in, they bring their children's school supplies, they're able to unpack so they're not carrying that big backpack the first day that weighs more than our K-babies, and they're able to unpack, and then that's another time that they are able to connect with the teacher, which is great.
Yeah.
And with that connection, the children, they can walk around the whole building with their parents. Then we have another event called Back to School Night at Abingdon, which is usually about 2 weeks within the year, and that's where that's a parent event. Open house is more for the kids. Back to School Night is for the parents, and they're able to hear about the curriculum, what the day looks like from beginning to end, how they can get in touch with the teacher. With kindergarten, while we have our home access center for our parents to check grades, we don't do that with kindergarten. That's where their report cards released, but that's not how we communicate progress. Our teachers are readily accessible by email, not necessarily during the day because, of course, they're teaching.
Sure.
They're not checking their email.
Right.
So parents are encouraged to please reach out to the teacher with any questions. The teachers are very responsive. Many will do newsletters or quick weekly updates so they understand what's going on and coming up. Our kindergarten team, which many do, have a communication guide that goes home every day. And with Abingdon, we encourage our Eagles to soar. We want them to be safe, we want them to be on task, we want them to act respectful and responsible. And they earn a little Eagle at the end of each day. Sometimes days are a little rougher than others, and if it was a really, really rough day, they might get an oops sticker. Just that, please contact me so we can talk about that reinforcement and work as a team to help our little Eagle soar. So our teachers are very accessible. The phone is another way that you can certainly call us, but when you email them, it's direct. And it's really easy in Harford County because it's all of our first names, last names, and we all have the same exchange at hgps.org. And then we also post it on our website. And it's information that teachers share with them as well. So the teachers, all of our teachers at Abingdon, and really in Harford County, as we want to work with our parents as a team because we understand that team surrounded, we all have the same goal. We want to make our students safe and we want to help them learn. And having that open communication is great. Many times teachers will ask parents, what's the best way for you to communicate? And some of them love text. So what we do, we also use something called the Remind app, and they're able to quickly text out updates and share that with their families, and parents can text back. Of course, please know they're teaching during the day, so that their text might be a little delayed, but we try to give parents as many different ways as possible to be able to connect. And they can, of course, ask for a conference at any time. And the teacher's happy to sit with them and really go over any questions that they have. So we really try here hard in Harford County to make sure our parents feel included and that they have multiple avenues to connect with their teacher to make sure that their baby's safe and learning.
And that's engaging every family every day, and that's what you're doing as a leader. And it's really just a gold star approach, and we just appreciate your time and your expertise in helping our kindergarten parents. And we know kindergarten parents, as moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas, we are very nervous this time of year.
Yes.
But please understand, as Dr. Gerringer said, that we have your babies and we're going to take care of them and help them soar. So thanks so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank
All right,
you.
Thanks. And we'll see you next time.